Peer into the future is, first, peer plays on our four pillars of our mission. P for performance, E for education, E for exhibitions, and R for research. Into the future suggests our direction and our vision, where we want to go. Now, jazz then, now, and beyond suggests that while we're looking ahead, we always have to be mindful of our history and the importance of the history at the American Jazz Museum and in Kansas City and jazz in general.
Jazz inspires.
I've loved jazz for as long as I can remember, even before I knew what it was. I knew I liked instrumental music, I liked things with a beat, and as I got into my late teens and so forth, I began to understand that, hey, this is great music. And to be here in Kansas City and have the museum here, it was just a great, great opportunity to get involved and with something I really love.
To me, the museum is home. Whenever I come here, I feel like I'm home. And I mean that Kansas City is my home, but I have a jazz home. It's a house of jazz where I come in and everybody is dedicated and focused on the music.
The Jazz Museum has given me a platform, an opportunity to take the knowledge and information that I have learned as a jazz musician and transmit it to other people. You know, so for me, there's no other place in the world like this that I can come and work and have this platform to transmit, you know, the legacy of jazz music and to transfer it, you know, to other people.
People were actually trying to change the world with their art, you know, and make big steps in the world like jazz did and still continues to do, and that we could use poetry in that same way and affect a change in whatever it is that we saw fit. And it was just a beautiful thing that the Jazz Museum introduced us to.
King had a dream, had a plan. It was fate that he would
minimize the rate,
reshape the death rate, police tape resulting from the conflict of race. Look at my face.
It has been graced by my skin, but my true value lies within.
People need to know.
I would certainly like folks to know, first of all, that it in fact exists, that it is the only museum of its kind dedicated to the preservation of the art form. It is dedicated to the education of persons and what it's all about. It's dedicated to collections, it's dedicated to research, and certainly it's dedicated to the performance of the music we call jazz.
This is the music of Kansas City. This is the music of America. And this is what I want Kansas Cityans to understand. This is a happening place. This is one of the best jazz clubs in the United States. So I don't think Kansas City realizes what kind of a true gem it has.
I want people to know that we're here, and our mission right now, a big part of it is our education. And reaching out to the kids of Kansas City, reaching out beyond Kansas City is very important. Everybody knows that performing arts programs and things of that nature really turn around our kids and help them live and have a voice.
1, 2, 3.
We would be foolhardy if we didn't see this as something that brought municipal value. Kansas City is better because of the American Jazz Museum. It's uniquely Kansas City. We are seen around the world as one of the two centers of jazz. New Orleans claims one half of this, and while I disagree with the claims by my good friends from New Orleans, I think that they probably did play a role, albeit minor, and that Kansas City clearly brought the attention.
Experiencing the American Jazz Museum.
Realizing that it's the American story, it's American history. We are the facilitators not only of the dreams that took place, but the dreams unfolding. And in doing so, it has given us a greater opportunity of telling our story from our perspective and what really took place, what really happened through the process of jazz and how it was born and where it came from.
When you've got a building that says, here's something about the history of this music, here's something about the people who made this music in the face of incredible adversity, here's how this musical form developed. There's different stages of this form that you can look at to see how we got from the beginning to where we are now.
I don't think there's anything anywhere in the world like this. The ability to come into this space and see this enormous collection of films of musicians, most of whom are gone away, we'll never see them again in person, and to see them in performance, I don't think there's anything like this in the world.
The American Jazz Museum needs your support.
There's faith, and there's work, and there's money. And any of those three, they'll take. And that's what we need to do, have faith in the growth, put our sweat to the task, and reach in our pocket with a little cash.
In supporting the Jazz Museum, you're supporting the culture, you're supporting the history, making sure that subsequent generations know from whence we've come.
As a people.
Right, as a people, and to learn about just the wonderful music.
I believe that we have an obligation to support it with our partnerships, for those of us that are in the marketing side of how do we find better ways to help promote this museum. I think it's important to support it with our resources that we can, and I think there's plenty of opportunities to volunteer.
There are so many opportunities to take from the Jazz Museum, but there are even more opportunities to give to the Jazz Museum so that other people can learn and so that other people can grow from the beauty and the richness that we have here.
Jazz really put Kansas City on the map.
The American Jazz Museum is the only brick and mortar space of its kind in the world, and it's right here in Kansas City. Jazz may have been born in New Orleans, but it grew up in Kansas City.
When it comes to jazz, this is where it lives.